What's up? This is Frobomb. I have been, it's been a while. I've been playing a pretty hard game and trying to kind of perfect it and get a clear. And I needed a break, and so I picked this one up kind of just randomly because it seemed like it had a different feel to it. It's very melee focused, and that appeals to me. It's set in kind of old 1600s era Japan, but of course it's got, you know, flying motorcycles and giant robots and the like. So very cool in my opinion. Aesthetically, has some nice art. The music is kind of iffy, but in general, I think it looks and sounds pretty good. You won't be seeing a ton of these shots that are being highlighted here because, as I said before, the game is super melee focused. I rarely, if ever, use my normal shot. The game has two buttons. If you hold, the way it works in the arcade is you tap to shoot your normal shot, and then you hold and charge to melee, kind of like a Psycho game. And you get in up into the face of big clusters of enemies, and you get knock red gems out of them, like you see flying out of that mid boss there, or that's actually basically the first enemy you fight in the game, not really mid boss. But yeah, you see kind of how the game is designed. It throws these big clumps or lines of enemies at you. You time it properly. You time a melee attack, and then you collect gems, and then you charge your meter up to the top left to use a Vasara attack like I just did there to get a huge amount of multiplier and a big bonus score bonus. And you just rinse and repeat that through all of these 6 levels. And it takes, kind of perfecting it takes some time, it takes some memo, but I will say I had a ton of fun learning the stage progressions and kind of this first level, which I played a ton. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a wasted Vasara attack. You don't want to use that unless there are a ton of enemies on screen, and I kind of feel like that's a flaw of the game, that it doesn't allow you to kind of delay that attack. If you want to use your normal melee, you can't until you use your ultimate. So oh well, just I still actually managed to get a pretty decent score in this level, and that's kind of a lesson. Like, the scoring in this game, while it might seem pretty rigid in the way that the enemy layouts happen and stuff, pretty static, I found plenty of ways to kind of combine enemy kills for different levels of score in different places. I think it's really, really well designed. Just a great game with that one kind of annoying control fault, and then unfortunately it does have an infinite pattern that makes it competitive scoring unfortunately kind of irrelevant, but just still really, really super fun to play. So you see, that boss has a trick where if you wait to unleash an attack until all of its like hatches are open, you can get a times 12 multiplier. Just something to note there. And then this guy, until you kind of play it a couple times and learn the timings of all of his attacks, he can be kind of tricky. The thing with all the bosses and all the, really the whole game is you can melee away all of their fire. No bullet is safe from your melee attack. Like, basically, if you are timing things properly, you're barely going to have to dodge in the game. But that's a big if, because it involves learning kind of the delays between all the attacks of the bosses, and it's easier said than done to make it look this fluid. I spent a good amount of time playing and learning. I would not call it an easy game if you want to use this character. Sagoichi is, I think her name's Sagaichi, and get a decent score. You're not gonna be like, it's not gonna be a cakewalk. That being said, if you just wanted to survive it and get a quick clear, I do think it's probably decently easy for that, just like not focusing on score at all, because you can just hang out at the bottom, slash away the bullets, not get up close to anything. But then the game becomes a slog and unfun. I don't know why you would play that way. This is the way to play. Like I'm barely ever going into the bottom half of the screen. I'm trying to stay up, and only to catch gems am I moving toward the bottom. Really, it's like hanging out at the top and middle and just getting a jump on any big cluster of enemies that you can see. Another thing to note is these blue ships and anything with a blue marker, or like some of those particularly large enemies will display a banner when they die. Those banners add up. There are 30 in each level, and they just get you a score bonus at the end of the level if you manage to kill a lot of them or all of them. Just the bonus increases depending on how well you do. There I get bumped out of the way. It's just a great thing to not have any collision damage whatsoever. I love it. So once again, it's advantageous to just kind of stay to the sides of the bosses and melee, because they're shooting straight down for the most part, especially in the beginning. So staying up into the sides is where you want to be. And that's a pattern that you definitely want to melee away. You want to kind of wait for it and time it right, or else it can be a little bit nasty. I'm really moving through this guy quickly because I happen to have a Vasara attack there. This phase, it's just these two attacks, that kind of spiraling one, and then he waits for a really long time and unleashes that very quick four shots in succession at you. So there you go. There's a perfect. I don't think I didn't mention it in the first level, but there I got all 30 banner enemies. Stage 3, another thing to look out for is that there's a ton of destructible environment in this game, and all of it hides these gold coins that really, despite their variance in size, it seems like they can be any value. Like, I think I've seen a small coin pile be like 3,000 points. I'm not sure what affects it, or if it's affected by your multiplier. I didn't pay that close attention. Just collect the gold coins, Focus more on getting gems and killing clusters of enemies, but your secondary focus, whenever you can, is just collect the coins on the screen and like melee the environment to find more coins if you're so inclined. You also have bombs. I have not used one yet. I might use one. No, I probably won't use one until next stage. That's another attack you want to wait for, that third attack he does, and time your slash so that you block it. I've just got a pretty set way of dealing with most of the encounters, especially in the early part of the game. There's not too much variance from run to run in how you deal with these guys. Okay, Vasara. Oh, I unleashed it. You want, you're looking for anywhere above 10 multiplier for a Vasara attack. Like, anything less than 10 is a bit of a disappointment to me. This guy's got a crazy design. It's kind of cool that the bosses, have their character art and talk to you a little bit. I like it. It's a great risk-reward system, the gems dropping, because it forces you to get underneath enemies to catch the gems, which if you're just playing for pure survival, not score, you'll kind of find yourself being like, oh, this is really easy. I just hang out to the side of an enemy. But then, if you start playing more seriously, you realize, oh shit, I've got to go under the enemies to get the gems. So it just incentivizes riskier play in a way that's smart and feels good, I think. Pretty easy boss. Just as long as you don't get caught when he splits in half and starts shooting those very quick yellow horseshoes. Oh, well, that's a pathetic. Oh yeah, I forgot 3. Okay, not so bad. I missed 1. I always like really felt shame when I missed more than 1 blue enemy, especially in the early levels. Oh, terrible Vasara. That's just one where I probably didn't even see that I had it, and I just used I wanted to use my regular melee attack, and I used my ultimate. These guys are really tough. Those yellow arrows in front of those guys have a really big hitbox, so be sure to dodge them. Don't try and slash through them. And then be careful during this section, they'll bring blue guys up from the bottom of the screen. You can get a nice multiplier on those 6 circle guns on the ship. Oh yeah, see, move to the side of them as opposed to try and dodge through them ahead. This guy, his first attack is a melee slash. You go to the right. Ooh, that was close. The further you get in the game, the less margin of error you have for timing, blocking these attacks. Wow, that was so lucky that I didn't get hit by that. I used a bomb, and during that mid-boss fight, they bring 6 dudes in from underneath you, which is really shitty. So almost always I'm using 1 or 2 bombs during that mid-boss fight just to stay safe, and I almost even fucked it up there. So that's kind of not a wall, but just a tricky point that you've got to really be careful in. This boss seems really tough until you kind of get his timings down. For this first phase, you can just kind of stay to the left as long as you're willing to sacrifice the gems and go underneath those ball attacks and then get him to this phase. Ooh, that was a little dicey. So now he's going to kind of vary his attack timings. You just want to hold your melee until you see his attacks start to come out, and then slash through it all. Every once in a while you have to dodge one. Okay, this is the hardest part of this boss, where he's kind of floating from back and forth. Oh, I had to use a bomb there. From left to right, and there's this laser that's coming down that you cannot slash through. So if you're underneath that, you're dead, even if you use a Vasara, I think. So, but basically, you just hang out to one side of the screen until he's almost gonna get you with the laser, and then you cross over it. And then that's how you're safest. If that makes sense, hopefully. Nice. Okay, 10 is good. The further we go in the game, the kind of less my route is super, like, impressive or consistent. Like, and sometimes, by the way, sometimes you see these, like, little spouts of red gems. You can see, like, shadows in the environment. That's what spews those gems out. It's hard to describe, but it's like you're seeing a shadow being cast, but nothing is above it. That's when you do your melee, and then those gems will fall out. See, this is just kind of shitty play. Whenever you see me shoot my normal shot, which I don't even know if I've done yet to this point, that's how you know I'm playing kind of shittily, because that's all the normal shot is good for in this game, is just like cleaning up when you're too far down the screen and you didn't do your cluster melee kills properly. Okay, be careful of this. This guy can come in from the rear and bump you into all of those enemies that are in the middle of the screen. That's why I was shooting there preemptively, to just stop that from happening. So he slashes you once, then shoots you with his shot, then slashes you twice, and then shoots you with his shot, and then repeat. And if you can kill that guy quickly, he drops a 1-up and a bomb. And then he goes into his gigantic fucking mech. And I had trouble with this guy. His last phase is not so easy, but I finally figured it out. Oh, I know how to dodge that, but it's just following the pattern, like getting in the gap and then kind of tapping across the screen, but fucked it up. So these guys, they are aimed, and you just have to misdirect them to either side of the screen. There you go. That's how you dodge that one. Okay, misdirect them and move to the side. I got scared that I didn't do it properly, so I panic bombed. And then you'll have to, at either side of the screen, dodge these big blue orb or big yellow orbs. There you go. That's it. Didn't make it look too hard there. Had to bomb once, I think, but that did kind of take me a while to perfect that strategy. Oh damn, I missed a banner enemy. Okay, last level. Still doing my... Nope, I'm just playing it safe. Whenever I'm on the bottom shooting, I'm playing it a little bit safe. Whenever you can get like... Oh, that was a good one. Whenever you can get like 14... I don't know that I've ever gotten more than like 14 or 15 before. There's probably some opportunities to get a few more. But it really involves waiting and timing it super well. And of course, the longer you wait when all these enemies are on screen, the more dangerous it is. We missed it in one level, but some of these enemies, notably these blue guns and then these red guns, they have two phases where you kill them and then they start shooting another pattern and you have to slash them again. They're the only enemies like that, and so just be careful of them. Bomb just to be safe, because I was feeling like this was gonna, this was getting close to being the run. Still no miss. Final boss. The final boss, the biggest thing to know is that his first thing that he fires at you is aimed, and it'll miss you if you're not like super up close to him like that. And then you can slash through all of his attacks and get him. And then when you see those sets of 3 shots, when you see that for the second time, that's when you know that right there. So now you know that static pattern is coming again. So there you go. That's like the kind of key to beating this guy, is knowing the order of his patterns. Okay, this I was lucky enough to be able to Vasara through. Usually you'd have to be dodging underneath these guns or these big arms as they're flying. They're flying at you in a weird arc. But I just used my resources and Vasara and my Vasara ultimate and got through it, because I would have hated to lose that bomb. So not the best demonstration of how to deal with that. Oh, that was just a stupid death. I moved during the pattern that is static, I think, is what happened. Okay, he's gone. He's not that hard. But if you're needing to do this or wanting to do this in a single credit, then you face this guy, which is basically a beefed up version of the guy you just fought. A little bit of a different cutscene, it seems, depending on the character you choose. Kind of cool. Alright, so he starts with the arms right away. If you stay in the bottom left corner, you're safe. And there you go. There's an example of me dodging under one of the arms. But the attacks are just coming too fast and furious. That was lucky. I just got bounced across the screen. And luckily I was still in mid-melee, so I didn't get hit. Stupid death. I think I wasted some bombs on that death, if I'm not mistaken. So now I'm a little bit panicked. I'm just, I made sure to use all my bombs. Oh, and now no lives left. This guy is tanky as hell. I think I could have done a much better job, but this was a bit of a resource spam, just, you know. Okay, now I have to be a little more careful. I got my ultimate, wasted most of it, unfortunately, on his form change. I mean, you see what this is all about. It's like knowing the right time to slash during each of his attacks. Oh my god, I almost got lasered. Alright, final form. He just shoots this very simple circular pattern at you. And eventually it'll catch up to you, and so you gotta kind of, there you go, you gotta kind of redirect it. And then there's that super, super fast one that you have to have a melee fully charged and slash through, or it'll get you. And usually if you're good about hitting him, you only have to deal with that fast pattern one time, and you're set. Okay, that's a pathetic amount of... Oh, no, okay, alright. Not bad. Missed 2. Yeah, so that's Vasara. I really thought it was great. I definitely don't hear a lot about it for how good I thought it was. But, it's got the infinite pattern. It's a little bit unconventional in that you're not really shooting a ton. You're moving along and meleeing shit. It's like so melee focused. Maybe the most melee focused shooter I've ever played. I used my shot so sparingly, mostly just in the end stages when I was playing poorly in my eyes and had to clean up. But a very unique feeling shooter. If you're like tired or fatigued playing a dad shmup like I am, or a traditional Danmaku, and you want something that feels like neither one of those things, feels most like a Psycho game to me in flavor. But yeah, if you want something really different, this is a neat one to pick up, and it is, I would say, quote unquote easy, in that if you don't care about your score, you can just kind of have fun with it and probably get pretty far pretty fast, because of just the nature of being able to slash away everything that comes at you and stay to the sides of most of the bosses to stay clear of their attacks and shit. It's not super super easy. It's still an arcade game, but it's nothing insurmountable. I'm going to screw up my name entry here because of my auto fire. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I can post another clear that's significantly more impressive pretty soon.